Hello and welcome to the next part of the video for the Duel decks Anthology unboxing. So we've now moved on to our second pair of decks. This is the Jace versus Chandra duel deck. We're going through in order that they were originally released. So this was released second for the original duel decks. We should see some more tokens in this. Anyway, so this is Jace versus Chandra. We're going to open these up. As you can see, same boxes as we've seen already. Not particularly rugged by any stretch of the imagination, but you know, like I said, it's going to be okay because probably going to keep these for playing you know, in the house, so not going to be moved around that much. Probably kept in their original box. You can see we've got the spaces in here because there's enough room for the deck to be sleeved. Allow for that. So I'll take that out. And something else I've just noticed, and I was wondering about this. This must be the instructions because I hadn't seen any so far. There weren't any in the original box. So let's just open this up and see what we have here. So this is our regular rules reference card. For those of you that haven't seen any of my previous videos, this was originally a lot larger in previous Magic products, and it was probably changed about, I don't know, well, it's well over 6 months I think now it's been like this. So they now just have this simple rules reference card. Before it was like a fold out how to play guide. So really this just explains the layout of the cards, how you tap your land and what colours of mana the different lands make, and then just a breakdown of the parts of a turn, and that's all they really give you in terms of you know, the basic playing of the game. And then one of these, so for this product we're going to probably see a list of all of the decks on one thing. We'll just see whether that's the case. Even be that actually. We'll keep our eye out. Maybe in here there'll be other inserts in other packs which have deck lists. I don't know. Okay, so this is just a bit of a blurb about the original pairs of decks. So we've got the dual deck Elves versus Goblins, Divine versus Demonic. This is very shiny. Jace versus Chandra, and Garrick versus Liliana. So obviously they put Planeswalkers on one side and sort of tribal and theme on the other. And when the decks come out, normally they alternate between those two types. So you get I think they do 2 a year now. So I don't know if that's always been the case, whether there's always been 2 a year. I think probably that there has. So they sort of alternate between this concept of either a tribal or some sort of theme, and then a planeswalkers. So let's get back to these decks. So I'm sure that's what everybody's here for, to see what these contain. So we'll start off with the Jace here. You can see alternate artwork for Jace Beleren. It's also foil, as all the lead cards are in these dual decks. Okay, straighten it up. Right, so Jace Beleren is 1 and 2 blue Planeswalker Jace. It's got 3 loyalty. So +2, each player draws a card. The -1 is target player draws a card, and the -10 ultimate is target player puts the top 20 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. So moving on to the rest of the cards now, we have Guile, which is 3 and 3 blue for a 6/6. Creature Elemental Incarnation. Guile can't be blocked except by 3 or more creatures. If a spell or ability you control would counter a spell, instead exile that spell and you may play that card without playing its mana cost. When Guile is put into a graveyard from anywhere, shuffle it into its owner's library. Quicksilver Dragon, 4 colourless, 2 blue, 5/5. It's a dragon, it's got flying, not surprisingly. 1 blue. If target spell has only one target and that spell is Quicksilver Dragon, change that spell's target to another creature. There's a morph cost on here as well. It's part of an ability. 4 and a blue. So you can actually cast this card face down as a 2/2 creature for 3 and then turn it face up anytime for its morph cost. So we're seeing that that particular ability return in a recent set. Ancestral Vision is in here. So Ancestral Vision, it's a sorcery. It's got Suspend 4 on it, so Suspend 4 blue. So let's see what this actually does if you're not familiar with the suspend mechanic, because you can see there's no actual mana cost in its normal position here, and there's this little sort of blue symbol down here. So obviously something unusual is up here. So rather than cast this card from your hand, pay blue and exile it with 4 time counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove a time counter. When the last is removed, cast it without paying its mana cost. And as a result of doing all of that, the target player gets to draw 3 cards. Martyr of Frost, single blue for 1/1 human wizard. 2 colourless, reveal X blue cards from your hand, sacrifice Martyr of Frost, counter target spell unless its controller pays X. Fathom Seer, 1 and a blue, 1/3 illusion. It's got morph on it. So we return 2 islands you control to their owner's hand. You may cast this card face down as a 2/2 creature for 3, turn it face up any time for its morph cost. When Fathom Seer is turned face up, draw 2 cards. So the other thing you'll notice about the morph here, if you're going to cast it face down, it's always going to be a 2/2 for 3, and then the cost to morph it and what might or may or may not happen as a result of morphing it is the variable part. And there's 2 of those. Void Mage Apprentice. So you can see that this is going to be a theme going on here of morph, the number of morph cards we've seen so far. Here's another one. 1 and a blue for 1/1, and this one has a morph cost of 2 and 2 blue. Again, you can cast the card face down as a 2/2 creature for 3 and turn it face up any time for its morph cost. So on this one as well, when you turn it face up, you can counter a target spell. So you'll see with a lot of the morph cards, they have a really interesting ability that triggers when you actually turn them face up, when you morph them. Wall of Deceit, 1 and a blue for a 0/5. It's a wall. It's got Defender on it, not surprising with the wall. 3 colourless, turn Wall of Deceit face down, and it has a morph of blue, so it's not a morph creature. And there are 2 of those. Willbender, 1 and a blue, 1/2 human wizard with morph 1 and a blue. When Willbender is turned face up, change the target spell or ability with a single target. Bottle Gnomes is in here, 3 colourless, 1/3 gnome artifact creature. Sacrifice Bottle Gnomes, you gain 3 life. Mana War, we've also got in here. 2 and a blue for 2/2. When Mana War enters the battlefield, return target creature to its owner's hand. And there are 2 of those. Ophidian, 2 and a blue, 1/3. Whenever Ophidian attacks and isn't blocked, you may draw a card. If you do, Ophidian deals no combat damage this turn. Fledgling Moorcore, I think that is. 3 and a blue for 2/2 beast flying. Tap Fledgling Macaw, deals 1 damage to target creature or player. This also has morph on it, and here if you want to morph this one, it's morph and 2 blue. Waterspout Djinn, 3 and 2 blue, 4/4. It's a Djinn flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice water spout Djinn unless you return an untapped island you control to its owner's hand. Mole Drifter's in here. 4 and a blue for 2/2 elemental. That's flying. When Mole Drifter enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards. This also has Evoke on it, so Evoke's an interesting ability. So for its Evoke cost, what you can do is you pay the cost, in this case 2 and a blue, and what actually happens is you cast a spell for its Evoke cost. So what actually happens is as soon as it hits the battlefield, it's actually sacrificed. So all that does is basically trigger this battlefield ability and nothing else. And not surprisingly, the cost is obviously less than its full casting cost. So what you're essentially saying is, if you pay its Evoke cost, you're getting card draw of 2 cards for 2 and a blue. And there are 2 of those. Air Elemental, 3 and 2 blue for a flying 4/4. There's lots of classic blue cards in this deck. Riftwing Cloudscape, 3 and 2 blue. Illusion. So there's quite a lot of stuff on here. It's got flying. When Riftwing Cloudscape enters the battlefield, return target permanent to its owner's hand. There's also Suspend on here. So for suspend 3, for 1 and a blue, rather than cast this card from your hand, you may pay 1 and a blue and exile it with 3 time counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove a time counter. When the last is removed, cast it without paying its mana cost. It has haste. So you'll notice the difference here between the earlier suspend card we saw was there was no, it wasn't an alternate. You only had a choice of casting it for its suspend. This one, you can either cast it for its regular casting cost or its suspend cost, and obviously do the appropriate thing with the time counters. Spire Golem. So this is one of these artifact creatures which has affinity. This is 6 colourless. It's a 2/4, so it doesn't seem particularly good when you look at the casting cost for what you're getting, but this is where the affinity comes in. So the spell actually costs 1 colourless less to cast for each island you control, which in a mono blue deck is going to be, potentially a lot of islands, and it has flying on it, so that's where that fits in. 2 of those. Easter Snipe, 5 and a blue for a 4/4 elemental. When Easter Snipe enters the battlefield, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Evoke for 1 and 2 blue. So another evoke card. Brine Elemental, 4 and 2 blue, 5/4 elemental. Morph for 5 and 2 blue. When Brine Elemental is turned face up, each opponent skips his or her next upkeep step. Errant Ephemeron, 6 and a blue, 4/4 illusion, flying, suspend 4 for 1 and a blue. Another suspend card. Mind Stone, 2 colourless artifact. Tap it, add 1 colourless to your mana pool, or for 1 colourless, tap it, sacrifice Mind Stone, and draw a card. So now we're moving on to our non-creature spells. We've got Daze in here, 1 and a blue. Instant, you may return an island you control to its owner's hand rather than pay its Daze's mana cost. Controller counter target spell unless its controller plays 1 colourless. Counter spell is in here, 2 blue. Instant, counter target spell. And 2 of those. Repulse, so we've got a whole load of counter spells here that do various things for various costs. So Repulse, 2 and a blue. Instant, return target creature to its owner's hand. 2 of those. Fact or Fiction. Okay, so for 3 and a blue, another instant, we get to reveal the top 5 cards of our library. An opponent separates those cards into 2 piles. Put 1 pile into your hand and the other into your graveyard. Gush is in the deck. Okay, so Gush, 4 and a blue instant. You may return 2 islands you control to their owner's hand rather than pay Gush's mana cost. Condescend,
X and a blue, instant, counter target spell unless its controller pays X, and it also has scry for 2. So with scry, look at the top 2 cards of your library, then play any number of them, then play any number, god dear me. Look at the top 2 cards of your library, then put any number of them on the bottom of your library and the rest on top in any order. And 2 of those. So now we've got some non-basic lands. Always interesting to see what they put into here. Terrain generator. To land, tap, add 1 colourless to your mana pool. 2 colourless tap, you may put a basic land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. And then we've got our island. So it looks like this is the rest of the lands. So these are all basic lands. And then again, just flicking through these so we can check out the artwork. I'll have to find out where this is all coming from. Particularly like this artwork here. I don't know whether this is from... Often what they'll do is they might tie this in with a set which featured, say, the artwork for a particular planeswalker that's associated with that, or sometimes they'll just use artwork from the core set or some other thematic tie-in. So if anybody knows, I know we've got some very knowledgeable people that watch this channel, let me know. I'd be interested to know if you can identify the set or sets that those are from. Okay, so second bit, moving on to Chandra. I think I made a comment in the other video. Actually, you'll notice that these have the new sort of holographic, sort of rare, mythic rare frames on them. These have been reframed. Okay, so 3 and 2 blue for Planeswalker Chandra. Chandra Nalar, I think that is. Has 6 loyalty on it. And its first Planeswalker ability, +1, Chandra Nalar gets Chandra Nalar deals 1 damage to target player. -X, Chandra Nalar deals X damage to target creature. And the -8 ultimate, Chandra Nalar deals 10 damage to target creature and each creature he or she controls. What did I say there? Chandra Nalar deals 10 damage to target player and each creature he or she controls. Rakdos Pit Dragon, 2 and 2 blue for a 3/3 dragon. 2 red, Rakdos Pit Dragon gains flying until end of turn. 1 red, Rakdos Pit Dragon gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Hellbent, Rakdos Pit Dragon has double strike as long as you have no cards in hand. Hostility, 3 colourless, 3 red for a elemental incarnation with 6/6 haste. If a spell you control would deal damage to an opponent, prevent that damage. Put a 3/1 red elemental shaman creature token with haste onto the battlefield for each 1 damage prevented this way. When hostility is put into a graveyard from anywhere, shuffle it into its owner's library. Demon Fire, X and a red for a sorcery. Demon Fire deals X damage to target creature or player. If a creature dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile it instead. Hellbent, if you have no cards in hand, Demon Fire can't be countered by spells or abilities and the damage can't be prevented. Now it looks like we've also got the tokens here. So again, these are one-sided tokens, not like the new style ones. So here's a number of elemental shaman tokens. There are 3 ones. Then we've got Flamekin Brawler. So Flamekin Brawler, it's a creature elemental warrior. It's 1 red to cast. It's 0/1, and Flamekin Brawler gets +1/+0 until end of turn. And there's a couple of those. Fire Slinger, 1 and a red for 1/1 human wizard. Tap, Fire Slinger deals 1 damage to target creature or player and 1 damage to you. Soulbright Flamekin, 1 and a red. Elemental Shaman, it's a 2/1. For a cost of 2 colourless, target creature gains trample until end of turn. If this is the third time this ability has resolved this turn, you may add, crikey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is that 8? Yeah, 8 red to your mana pool. Okay, there's 2 of those in the deck. We have some red ramp. Pyre Charger, 2 red for a 1/1 elemental warrior. It's got haste, and for a red, Pyre Charger gets +1/+0 until end of turn. So we can see a couple of these cards got fire breathing on them. Slith Firewalker, 2 red, 1/1 haste. Slith, this is. Whenever Slith Firewalker deals combat damage to a player, put a 1/1 counter on it. 2 Slith Firewalkers. Flame Wave Invoker, 2 and a red, 2/2 Goblin Mutant. For 7 and a red, Flame Wave Invoker deals 5 damage to target player. Inner Flame Acolyte, 1 and 2 red for a 2/2 Elemental Shaman. When Inner Flame Acolyte enters the battlefield, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. This has got Evoke as well, so it's Evoke for 1 red. So just like the other deck, when you cast a spell for its Evoke cost, if you do, it's sacrificed when it enters the battlefield. Hence the lower cost. Just triggering the ability there. So the second one, Flame Tongue Kavu, 3 red for a 4/2. When Flame Tongue Kavu enters the battlefield, it deals 4 damage to target creature. Furnace Whelp, 2 and 2 red, 2/2 flying. Red Furnace Whelp gets +1/+0 until end of turn. 2 of those. Ingot Chewer, 4 and a red, 3/3 elemental. When Ingot Chewer enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact. Evoke cost is on here as well for a single red. Oxider Golem, 6 colourless, 3/2 Golem, affinity for mountains. So this spell costs 1 colourless less to cast for each mountain you control, and it has haste on it. And there are 2 of those. Chartooth Cougar, 5 and a red, 4/4 Cat Beast. 1 red, Chartooth Cougar gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Another bit of fire breathing there. Mountain Cycling for 2 colourless. So we've not seen Mountain Cycling in this deck yet. So for 2 colourless, discard this card, search your library for a mountain card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your library. Pretty much does exactly what the mechanic is, or the keyword is. Firebolt, 1 red. Firebolt deals 2 damage to target creature or player. It's got flashback for 4 and a red, so you can actually cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it. 2 of those. Seal of Fate, single red for an enchantment that you can sacrifice Seal of Fate. Seal of Fate deals 2 damage to target creature or player. So we're moving on to, obviously these are all our non-creature spells with a good deal of burn going on here. It's the second one there. Incinerate. Okay, so 1 and a red. Instant. Incinerate deals 3 damage to target creature or player. A creature dealt damage this way can't be regenerated this turn. Actually, this particular card brings up another point about these decks. I don't know if I've mentioned. The decks normally also feature alternate artwork, you know, apart from the lead card. So there'll be other cards in the deck that have alternate artwork. 2 Incinerates. Magma Jet, 1 and a red. Instant. Magma Jet deals 2 damage to target creature or player, and there's Scry for 2. So with Scry, you look at the top 2, in this case the top 2 cards of your library, when putting, and then put any number of them on the bottom of your library and the rest on the top in any order. Flame Javelin. So this is this hybrid mana, and so here you've got you can either play 2 colourless and a red, 2 colourless and a red, 2 colourless and a red, and you can do that in any combination. So you could do 4 colourless and 1 red, or 6 colourless, or 2 red and 2 colourless. You get the point. It's an instant, and for either 2 or a red, can be paid with any 2 mana or with red. It just makes a note here that's what that top bit does. This card, and also this card's converted mana cost is 6, just in case you ever get a card that refers to a card's converted mana cost. When Flame Javelin deals 4 damage to target creature or player. Cone of Flame, 3 and 2 red. Sorcery, Cone of Flame deals 1 damage to target creature or player, 2 damage to another target creature or player, and 3 damage to a third target creature or player. Fire Blast, 4 and 2 red. So we're seeing sort of classic burn in this deck. 4 and 2 red. Instant, you may sacrifice 2 mountains rather than pay Fire Blast mana cost. Fire Blast deals 4 damage to target creature or player. A couple of those. Fireballs in here, 6 and a red. Sorcery, Fireball deals X damage divided evenly, rounded down among any number of target creatures and or players. Fireball costs 1 colourless more to cast for each target beyond the first. 2 of those. Now we're moving on to our land base. So we've got Keldon Megaliths. So this particular non-basic land, Keldon Megaliths enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap it for red. You can tap it to add red to your mana pool, and it also has Hellbent on it. 1 colourless and a red. Tap. Keldon Megalith deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Activate this ability only if you have no cards in hand. And then we move on to our actual non-basic land. Our basic lands. Again, let's just have a go through the artwork here. Again, 4 different types of artwork. Yeah. Oops, these are very slippery. There we have it. Okay, so restack these. So there we have the next dual deck unboxing. That was the Jace versus Chandra dual deck. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.